All right, race fans, welcome to TurnLeftTV. You ready for some high-speed action tonight? Step on the gas. All right, race fans, welcome to Iowa Speedway. This is TurnLeftTV, and I'm your host, Heath Johnson. Well, the High Octane Racing League Buschwackers Series hits Iowa Speedway tonight for race number 3 of the season. It's a 125-lap race here, and this is a fun track. There's a lot of room to race, man, but this thing is more difficult than you think. Who's got what it takes to bring home the victory here at TurnLeftTV and at Iowa Speedway? Well, there's only one way to find out. That's watching right here, baby. Well, hopefully these guys do a little bit better than what I've done so far here tonight. It's race number 3 in the Buschwackers Series, 125 laps here at Iowa. Let's get this party started. All right, thank you so much for joining me here on TurnLeftTV. Appreciate you being here tonight. Man, I don't know what's going on with me already. Man, I am off my game already. I can't figure it out, huh? Sorry, man. I just came in from mowing the yard. Yeah, thanks so much for coming in and joining me here on TurnLeftTV. I appreciate everybody's patronage and patience tonight, as we've already started off with a little challenge. This is race number 3 of the season, 125 laps in this great 8/10 of a mile, 9/10 of a mile, somewhere in between here at Iowa. I'm your host, Heath Johnson, broadcaster, commentator here at TurnLeftTV. It looks like we have just about 8 minutes or so left in the practice session before we get it going. Tonight's race is brought to you by EliteHostingUSA.com. If you are interested in the rFactor 2 server, there are 3 self-managed server packages for you to choose from. Also, if you want to host your website or your online store, or how about some shared web hosting and VPS hosting, those are also available through EliteHostingUSA.com, and that's who provides our servers here at HighOctaneRacing.net. Don't forget to join us over there. Get a quick link to our Discord server. And a good way to get set up, contact us, get set up to race with us. Check out our website. You get updates of point standings, of course, schedules, who's winning what, quick links to the TurnLeftTV broadcast as well. And thanks so much for coming in and joining me. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and then please smash the bell. You get updates when races are going live, and I appreciate people coming out and watching the races here, whether you've been doing it live or on replay. You're more than welcome to share my videos with all of your friends on any social media platform where you can share YouTube videos. You're more than welcome to share mine. Thanks to all those new subscribers out there as well. Really cool, man, that people subscribe, and I've had a lot of help with people being patient here that race in the league, fans coming out and giving suggestions, and also just watching and participating in the chats too, and also with some of my broadcast friends out there, just serving as a source of knowledge, and also something to model myself after as well. There's some really great broadcasters out there, great broadcast channels as well. So hopefully we're going to give you an entertaining look at the race here tonight. Let's take a look at the schedule in the Buschwackers series. Of course, this is race number 3 next week. We got another challenging track ahead of us, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, 110-lap race from New Hampshire. I'll be honest with you, that's one of my least favorite tracks, but I like broadcasting races from there. I just don't like getting in the driver's seat and driving a race at New Hampshire. I've never been able to, doesn't really mesh with my style of racing too well, that's for sure. But these guys will have it figured out. You see Nashville finishing out the first half of that season. Chicagoland, Pocono, Indy, Richmond, and Michigan on the back half of the season. Of course, we get some chatters in here. Appreciate Givaldo kicking us off as always. He said he wasn't going to be able to make it, but I see him in the driver's standing, so yeah, baby. Claudio Bardelli Jr. Hey, he just did a podcast too, by the way. His first podcast. He does some. He's a world-renowned samba music player, and we'll try to see if we can't link up somehow and give you his connect to his channel so you can check him out. But famous samba player here joining us tonight, Claudio Bardelli Jr. He's got a lot of championships with us, so he's famous for a lot of things. More racing headed your way. We'll be right here at Iowa again tomorrow night in the High Octane Racing League Saturday Night Thunder, man. The Cup Series Open Setup League. And this should be a fun one, man. These cars really, really handle pretty well. And I think Iowa's going to be a really good challenge tomorrow. It's race number 2 of that season. 125 laps from Iowa in the Cup Series tomorrow in the Saturday Night Thunder. Let's take a look at the track here at Iowa. Of course, you already saw that in the opening because I hit the wrong key, but a little under 9/10 of a mile in length, so we'll say under a mile in length, 1.4 kilometers. Turns there, a lot of room to race here in the turns. Banking in the turn 12 to 14 degrees, down the front stretch at 10 degrees, and the back stretch at 4 degrees. You see sort of that D-shaped oval configuration, and a little bumpy through the turns, man. But this is a fast track. Fastest short track. Is it a short track? I guess it's the short track. It's under a mile in length. The fastest short track on the planet here at Iowa. And about 2.5 minutes left to go in the practice session before we hit the quals. High Octane Racing League Top Trucks will be at New Hampshire Motor Speedway on Tuesday to kick off the week at New Hampshire. It's race number 8 of the season, 110 laps, so that points championship is heating up there in the Tough Truck Series. Tuesday night racing, man. We had a big crowd last week, and I would suggest you going to be another big crowd coming up at New Hampshire. Got William Snowden joining us here tonight for the first time in the Buschwackers series. Dennis Uderchin, that ain't Dennis Uderchin. There we go, William Snowden, they finally figured it out. Got to fire those graphics people, man. They got to keep up with me. William Snowden tonight, racing all the way from Europe. We have got a really rich variety here. We've got Canadians, of course, people from the United States. We've got people from Brazil. We've got people from, let's see. I'm not sure where William's from. I'm thinking it might be the UK. Stanislav Pavlov here. He's from Russia. Dennis Uderchin here as well. Dennis, one of our adopted sons from Kharkiv. So a lot of international flavor here, and if I miss somebody, I apologize for that. And we want to send out our well wishes to Jesus Iglesias if he happens to be watching this. He's our Spaniard/Brazilian driver, and he's been a little bit under the weather here, so we definitely sending our thoughts out to him. Good to see Stanislav Pavlov out here as well on this 8X. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning there, man. Might be a little later than that. It might be, 5 o'clock in the morning or so. But it is, whether it's late, it's early, it depends on how you look at it. All right, these guys getting ready to go to quals. So we are headed that way. These guys now officially over into the qualification session. You see right now having 17 drivers joining us. We'll step on the gas.
A lot of soul.
Who's going to be the first one out? The brave one. These guys getting a few things set up here. I think Steve Pierce might be our out of the box here in that Captain Morgan sponsor machine. Steve Pierce, one of our Texas drivers. Running around here in that 51, number 51 Camaro, Captain Morgan sponsored Camaro, I should say. $23,537 for Steve Pierce. Waldo Spindle in the 68. Said he wasn't going to be able to make it. He wasn't sure whether he was going to be able to make it. But here he is. Arthur Vieta at the top of the grid. Now Dan Richter up to the top of the grid with a 22.984. Very fast lap there for Dan Richter. And look at that. The identical time between Richter and Vieta. I don't know if they do alphabetical order on that by last name. How do they figure that out? How in the world do they figure that out? 43.539. Dan Richter as the top time here so far. Gordon Carter into 56. Right now, 7th on the grid, and it looks like he's finished up his qualification tip. William Snowden in the first time out here for us in the stock cars. See a bumpy track there. Julio Bardelli Jr. solves that problem there with a 22.881. So Richter and Vieta down to P2, P3. with identical times. 23.211 for William Snowden, currently P5. Stanislav Pavlov in the 8X car. 23.176 for Stanislav. Can you see how bumpy this track can be? Mardelli Jr. still holding on to the top slot there. 23.237 for Stanislav. Up to P4. We know he's got some stock car experience. He is our Saturday Showdown Series champion, or former champion. So, he's got some skills in the stock cars. He likes the stock cars. Gilmar Peixoto in a 71 car. His qualification attempt. Neto and Caligari, not sure what the plan is for these guys. 23.567 for Gilmar, currently 15th on the grid in that PixBet sponsored Camaro. See what lap number 2 is. It's baby, here, let's go. 23.448, P13 for Gilmar. Like we have a couple people who have not qualified here, so I'm not sure whether they're planning on going out or not. So it looks like Claudio Bardelli Jr. is going to be the top time. That's going to do it for the quals. We still have about 4.5 minutes left to go here. These guys are going to go over the drivers' meeting. Again, thanks so much for joining us here on TurnLeftTV. I appreciate you being here. Let's get this party started. All right, we're back. Thank you so much for joining us here. Qual's about a minute and a half left here, technically, in the qualification session. Don't forget to click on the link down in the description of this race. Follow it over to the Sim Lab website. If you're interested in purchasing something through them, please use my link. It's available there in the description of the race. Also, looks like you'll make a donation to TurnLeftTV through PayPal. There is a link down in the description as well. There's also one right on the YouTube channel. So we'll have the official results here for qualifications in just a moment, man. We got a chatter in here. Gilmar Peixoto, of course, joining us. Good luck to him tonight. And he's wishing all the drivers good luck tonight. And Fireball Flash, Dana Grover tonight. Right here, we're waiting on guys to join back up here. Looked like everybody got kicked on the switch over here, so that's a little bit of a drag. Hopefully that gets fixed. So right now in the warm-up session, as these guys are rejoining, on about 3 or 4 people to get back in here. It's like right now 13. Let's take a look at the keys to the race here tonight at Iowa Speedway. Interesting track, that's for sure. Kind of a unique track, I think. But the race keys here tonight at Iowa corner entry. Man, you got to be patient through the turns there, man. Traffic management, throttle control, save your tires, and make good pit stops here. But I think corner entry is going to be really, really important, so you do save those tires. And then you are going to be in traffic here tonight with 17 drivers. And you got to manage the throttle through the turns, especially off the turns. And make good pit stops. These guys are going to be pitting going into turn 3 tonight. You see the 8X doing so right now. Looks like these guys got about 4 minutes left to go in the practice session. All right, about 2 minutes left to go. 2.5 minutes left to go. Well, I'm about to get my pick to win this race tonight. I'll tell you who I'm going to pick. My pick is Dan Richter. I'm picking Dan Richter to win this race, boys. He comes out, he's not able to race each and every week, but when he comes out, he's laser focused. So, and this is the kind of track that I think favors Dan Richter's driving style as well. So I think Iowa Speedway is going to be the ticket here for Dan Richter tonight. 65 car in victory lane. And you got it right here. From the master. And we got
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now. Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel.
Sorry, man, I've been busy here. I'm pulling double duty, adminning and broadcasting at the same time. Not advisable. I didn't do the quals results here because I got busy with some admin. Well, people got kicked, but let's take a look at the starting order here tonight at Iowa. Claudio Bartella Jr. in the 19 starts in P1. Dan Richter starts in the second position. Artur Vieta starts in P3. Stanislav Pavlov, welcome to Stanislav. He starts in the fourth position. Starting in fifth is John Stanley. William Snowden starts sixth. Sean Jacobs seventh. Preston Hassel starts in the eighth position. Starting in P9 will be Dennis Uterchin. Gordon Carter starts 10th. Dana Grover 11th. Givaldo Spindola starts in the 12th position. Starting in 13th will be Jomar Peixoto. Chris Hughes starts 14th in the 7 car. Steve Pearson at 51 starts in 15th. Hey, that's a palindrome right there. Gelson Neto starts 16th. Starting at 17th will be Julio Caligari. Jesus Iglesias. Hey, Jesus! Starting at 18th, and the 19th position will be Harvey Shepard. Get my race keys here tonight. Corner entry, baby. Now you're in traffic as well, so you're going to have to manage that traffic. Be patient, baby. Throttle control here tonight. Save your tires and make good pit stops here at Iowa. Big field. Hopefully no caution flags. Let's keep our fingers crossed. I think these guys do 2 laps here at Iowa under caution. So for the pace laps. '65 and the 19 side by side here for this start. Get this thing started here tonight. Now we got to hope for the best here on this start. Cold tires, slick track. And a lot of drivers out here tonight. These cars off. Here we go. Green, green, green here at Iowa. Maybe a little bit too much camera shake on that, huh? Bardelli Jr. is the leader. Dan Richter in second. Vieira third. Pavlov is fourth. Stanley in fifth. How about John Stanley? Great qualification position. Oh, we already got some contact there behind him. On board here with John Stanley. There was already some contact there. Udichin and Grover, I think, got together. Udichin and Grover might have made some contact here. Let's take a look. Grover down to the inside, and then contact right there with a 47, and Grover hard into the wall, but keeps the portal in the right direction. These guys did a great job of avoiding that, too, on board here with William Snowden. He was able to get by there as a great look, but he was able to get by. We'll take a look at race leader, and that is Bardelli Jr. And Richter second. Arthur Vieira is in third. Vieira's had a pretty good season here. He's been a little bit of a part-time racer with us this season, but he's had a good season nonetheless. Jomar Peixoto getting around Dana Grover. Grover in the 89 on the high side as Jomar Peixoto now taking over P13. Grover fighting back on the high side, though. And Grover picking up that spot. William Snowden, Steve Pierce here battling it out. Snowden on the high side. Steve Pearson at 51 down on the bottom side here. It's a little Toyota versus Chevy. And the Toyota going to take that position. And Steve Pierce battled back on the inside, but I'll tell you what, Snowden is working this outside line. And this will make you nervous, man. No matter where you are on the track, this will make you nervous. And it looks like Snowden's going to pick up that position, and Steve Pierce tucks in. Take a look at Preston Hassel here, the 27 car. He is running in the 7th position. Dennis Udich behind him in P8. Get out of the back of his machine. You see Udich and Carter, P8, P9. And they're starting to get stacked up there as well. That racing is still going on here with Steve Pierce and William Snowden. Snowden on the inside. Now Givaldo Spinola trying to take that inside position. Steve Pierce got a heck of a run right there coming off the turn, but he's going to go to the high side. Use this high line. A little stock car experience right here. Snowden, one of our great IndyCar drivers, coming out and mixing it up here with the stock cars, and this is getting tight. Whoa, boy! Oh, the 51 up in the wall. 51 making contact with the wall there. Wow, that thing got away from him. Look at this. We got some more battling going on. John Stanley and Stanislav Pavlov. Stanley in the 12. Tim Horton sponsored Ford to the inside of Stanislav. And that Tim Hortons machine now up to P4. Pavlov now back to the 5th position. Dana Grover and Jesus Iglesias. Jesus, we were talking about him earlier tonight. Jesus at 22. Oh, he got way out of the throttle there, got on the brakes. Jesus holding on to that. Wow. 7 car just behind him, Chris Hughes. It's been a little bit since we've seen Chris Hughes out here. Right now, Hughes running into 7th position. John Stanley continuing to move here as he's battling Dan Richter. These guys both got around to Arthur Vieta. Now, I'm not sure what happened to Arthur Vieta. With the 12 getting around Dan Richter, the 12 on the move here as he's now closing in on Bardelli Jr. John Stanley looking racy here tonight in that Tim Hortons machine. He's got some caffeine in him. Take a look at this pass a little bit earlier with Stanley getting around Arthur Vieta. Vera going to the high side as Stanley trying to get 2 for 1 here. Get Richter and Vieta both. So John Stanley looking very racy here tonight. Man, I don't know what's going on with his cameras, man. Making me dizzy. The 63 and the 7 battling for position. The 63, Jelson. Oh, Jelson and Jesus battling it out right now. Jelson Neto trying to get around Jesus. He got around Chris Hughes. And now Dana Grover falling prey to these guys as on board here with Jelson Neto in the 63 car. And he sees Jesus locking up those wheels a little bit. As the 63 going to follow him through. Now he's going to go down to the bottom line. He backs off. Oh, the back end of that car comes around. That thing wanted to turn around on him. He was wisely got out of the throttle. Dana Grover taking a look at that. He is running in the 15th position. Been an interesting night here for him. And we got a new race leader. That's John Stanley. But Bardelli Jr. is battling back on the outside line. Arthur Vieta has a good ringside seat for this action. Bardelli Jr. now taking back over the lead as John Stanley says, not so fast, buddy. See the different strategies there as Stanley now reclaiming the lead. So these guys swapping positions here as they battle back in the pack. It's a great battle here as Bardelli Jr. wants to get that Chevy back in the lead. John Stanley with a little Ford muscle there. Stanislav Pavlov and Sean Jacobs. Sean Jacobs in the 24 car, the Vulcan sponsor machine. Gets around Stanislav Pavlov. Pavlov now back to the 6th position. Sean Jacobs taking over P5. Jesus Iglesias and Steve Pierce. Pierce in the 51, the 22 Orange Crush sponsor machine. Getting around the 51 car. Steve Pierce now looking on the inside. Look at this. Dana Grover, Gelson Neto, Chris Hughes. It's a parking lot right here, baby. Rush hour traffic. Rush hour traffic now. Dana Grover, they're 3 wide through the turns. Dana Grover says, I want no part of that. Let's get out of here. And he opens up a little bit of a little space. How about Harvey Shepard coming out? Another IndyCar specialist. Another one of our UK drivers. Harvey Shepard in the 9X picking up a spot. Now up to P15. Jesus Iglesias. Let's see the Givaldo. Oh, Givaldo's down off the track. Givaldo came down off the track. He's through the grass. He's going to keep the thing straight. He does. Whoa. Let's take a look and see what happened. Oh, there was contact with he and William Snowden. And he's down to the inside on the apron. Almost went down pit lane. Tries to hold on. Gets through the grass and straightens this baby up. Holy Toledo. Jesus Iglesias got through that. He's seeing tire smoke up there. He knows the car's off the track. And he gets by as Givaldo going to rejoin the racing surface, but there was definitely contact. Holy smoke, man. That was William Snowden. We were taking a look at here. Snowden way up the track, and the 68 trying to get through a little bit earlier here. And you see the 68 just loses the front end of that car, drifts up, smacks into the left rear quarter of the 7X, and he does a great job of holding on to that. Wow. Gelson Neto and Dana Grover here battling it out. 63 and the 89. This guy's getting after it. Great battling here. 26 laps in. As the 63 and the 89 having a slugfest right now. Chris Hughes says, you guys fight it out here, and I'm going to try to put some distance between the two of you. Chris Hughes in the 7 as you see the Dana Grover going up to the high line there. That car got a little tight on him through the turns, and 63 gets by. We'll take a look at that pass there as the 63 going down to the bottom line there as the 89 gets up way up into the marbles. And the 63 pulling off that pass. John Stanley is our leader. And he was out early today, too, man. Probably getting a lot of laps in. He is showing some muscle here in that Tim Horton-sponsored Ford. This would be the first time, if he's able to get this thing in victory lane, that we'd seen that Tim Hortons machine. He normally races, he's been racing this lately, but he's got the Stanley Tools sponsor machine as well. So the Tim Horton sponsorship, well, they would really like to see this car in victory lane. The shoes now closing in on William Snowden. The 7 versus the 7X, and Chris Hughes is going to get around. And we got a battle for P2, and look at this. Archer Vieta now closing in on Bardelli Jr. Bardelli Jr. way up the track there in that Global Trans-sponsored Chevy. Actually, the Ford. A couple of Fords and a Chevy here mixing it up. Dan Richter in this mix now, so Dan Richter trying to pick up a spot. He sees an opening here, and he wants to go down and use the bottom line to get by. They're still battling it up. On board here with Dan Richter. He's running in P4. John Stanley wants to see these guys stay racy. You got one car now, 2 cars down the lap there. Steve Pierce, four laps off the pace. Not sure what's happened to Steve Pierce, where they came down pit lane and took some service, but John Stanley got clear track ahead right now. Battling here with Bardelli Jr. and Richter. Dan Richter in the 65, Bardelli Jr. in the 19. Dan Richter, that Boom Boom Rum sponsored Ford Mustang, is going to take that position. So he is now up to P3 as Bardelli Jr. falling back to the 4th position. Sean Jacobs now easing into this mix as well in that 24 car. And Sean Jacobs to the inside of Bardelli Jr. These guys are side by side, swapping positions around. Jacobs trying to get through. Oh, there's contact. Oh, Bardelli came off the wall, got down into the 24 car. Holy Toledo, did you see that? Jacobs in the 24. You see Bardelli Jr. gets into the wall right there, pulls it off the wall, comes down, and makes contact with the 24 car. Wow. Well, that was really, really fortunate that that didn't end up being something much more significant. What about Giulio Caligari in the 3X car? Right now battling for P14 with the 89. Giulio getting by Dana Grover. Now picking up P14. Dana Grover back to the 15th position. Jelson Neto and William Snowden. Snowden and one of our IndyCar specialists. But I'll tell you what, man, these Stockcar boys out here each and every week, sometimes 3 times, 4 times a week. Look at this, the battle for the race lead. The 4 car of Archer Vieta, NASCAR BR sponsored Camaro, battling John Stanley. And he's not able to get around John Stanley. They are still side by side. Oh, man, Vieta almost drifts up into the rear quarter. And that's going to leave the door open for Dan Richter. Richter hits the wall, though. Coming off the turn, Richter slams the wall. These guys have not pitted yet, man. 39 laps in, no pit stops yet. And Vieta now has to slide back into P2. Dan Richter in 3rd. And this is getting crazy right now. Absolutely getting crazy as Vieta trying to close in on the race leader. Oh, right there. Oh, there's contact. Looked like there was contact as Vieta slid through. These guys are so tight and loose, and there's contact right there coming off the turn. Oh, wait, Toledo. Sean Jacobs now in this mix. John Stanley indicating he's coming down pit lane. He has got, probably got some right side damage to that machine. So John Stanley is on pit lane. Archer Vieta continuing to lead. So now we're starting to see, that got really, really crazy, man. And now we're starting to see some guys coming down pit lane here. As we see John Stanley on pit lane. Led quite a few laps. Felt like maybe that contact with the outside wall, but also starting to give it back up. That it was good to come down pit lane and get those new tires, fresh tires there, as we still see Archer Vieta stretching it out. Maybe he's got some fuel mileage situation in mind. Pavlov is on pit lane now. Take a look at Stanislav Pavlov on pit lane in the 8X car. Sean Jacobs in this mix. He's looking to take over the race lead, but Ford, Archer Vieta, really didn't push the car hard through the first part of that run, and he might have better tires, get better fuel mileage as well, apparently. So Pavlov is back out on the track, exiting pit lane. As you see, Archer Vieta now coming down pit lane. And that's going to give the race lead to Dan Richter. You want to take a look here? Whoa, we'll go back to live here as you see Dan Richter. I got to figure it out, huh? Dan Richter now coming down pit lane there as we were running a little behind. So the 65 on pit lane. That gives the race lead to Chris Hughes in the 7 car. He's indicating he's going to be coming down pit lane here. And pit lane entrants, we say, are supposed to be into turn 3. And Chris Hughes is on pit lane now. Gelson Neto gets caught speeding, and he's going to have to come back down pit lane. Devastating penalty there for the 63 car. He was having a great night. Now he's going to end up going down a lap. Man. Now back to the race lead. And William Snowden also gets caught speeding. .49 laps in. Claudio Bardelli Jr. is the leader. You know, there's really something to be said about, what you see here with Bardelli Jr., man. I mean, the guy has got it figured out. He races a lot. He's got it figured out. He's got, understands how to kind of adjust on the fly. He's really, I think, at the top of the game when it comes to that. And here you are seeing him lead after guys coming down pit lane. Now he's got almost a 4-second lead over P2. Now, arguably, you got another savvy, cagey, very seasoned veteran trying to run him down in P2, and that's Archer Vieta. Bardelli Jr. does not make too many mistakes, man. I mean, that's the thing about it. His pit stops are on point. Racecraft, of course, is on point. It's like Givaldo Spindle has retired his machine. You can see that out of Givaldo tonight. Take a look at that gap there between Bardelli Jr. and Vieta. Vieta is closing in. I mean, it's 3 seconds. It was about 3.9 or so when we first looked at this. So now he's Bardelli Jr. running into a little bit of traffic. So Vieta is closing in. How about Stanislav Pavlov here in the 4th position? Pavlov in his first race out with us in a while. Good to see the Toyota out here on the track. Stanislav right now running in P4, trying to challenge Dan Richter. He's got about a second behind. He's about a second behind Dan Richter right now as he gets by Dana Grover. Grover is the first car, 1 lap down. Steve Pierce, a little bit of a scare there just a minute ago, but holding on to that machine. The 51 car right now running in P16. As Steve Pierce now coming down down onto pit lane, so he's pitted his car. Take a look at Preston Hassel in the 27 car. Having a good night here, running in the top 10. He's in the 9th position in that AMD Ryzen-sponsored Ford Mustang. I haven't talked too much about Dennis Shudichin and Gordon Carter. Those guys racing pretty tight together here as Gordon Carter into 56, running right behind Dennis Shudichin. Shudichin is running in 7th in that 47 car, and the 56 of Gordon Carter running in P8. A little Toyota versus Chevy in that battle. Right now, taking a look at Bardelli Jr. as that gap has diminished big time. Now down to a 2.5, separating P1, P2.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Oh, we got a yellow flag. We have got a yellow flag. It looks like maybe Dan Richter's come around. So our first caution flag of the night, and the 65 car is involved. Let's take a look and see what happened here. See, the 65 gets way up the track into the marbles, smacks the outside wall, and then comes around. I'm not sure what happened there. Oh, the 8X hits him hard. 8X hits hard. See, right there, he pulls it off the wall and then ends up spinning right here. He tries to shift back, and he's going to get absolutely crunched right there. You see the 8X. Stanislav Pavlov, who was having such a good night. It looks like, for the most part, the rest of the guys sort of avoiding. Pavlov had no place to go. On board here with Pavlov, watch this. He has, no place to go there for him. Stanislav Pavlov, he'd gotten up into the outside wall too. I think he kind of followed the 65 up the track and then just cannot avoid the 65. And that tightens things back up. And look at that move by John Stanley getting through. So we started to see some guys coming down pit lane here as pit stops are underway. First caution flag of the night. Here's 63 laps in. See Bardelli Jr. coming off the track there, coming out, and Dana Grover out on the track. He's going to lead a lap. Get his bonus points here in a Fireball Flash, sponsored Toyota. Richter on pit lane, Pavlov on pit lane, Hassel on pit lane. Those guys all taking some damage there. Now, Preston Hassel, damage sort of self-induced, but the contact with Pavlov and Richter was pretty significant. You see Richter on pit lane, also Stanislav Pavlov on pit lane taking some service. So big time crash there for those two guys. Don't forget the Saturday Night Thunder will be here tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Man, and call Beat the Broadcast tonight. I get out of the broadcast booth, get in the driver's seat, and mix it up here in the Saturday Night Thunder. It's race number 2 of the season and 125 laps from Iowa in the Thunder Series, the Cup Series, tomorrow night at 9 p.m.
Green flag, go, go, go.
All right there. Sorry, man. I dropped my mouse off the daggone off my computer there. I had to get up and get it. It fell behind something. My heavens, man. All right, the 19 is the leader. Archer Vieta is in second. We're back to green. Sorry there, I had to do a few administrative things. As I mentioned, I'm also the admin tonight for clearing penalties, and I dropped my mouse, my second computer, dropped my mouse off into the floor, and I couldn't find it. Anyway, all right, we see this battle for the race lead here, the 19 and the 4 battling it up. And we're back to green. John Stanley, Chris Hughes here having a battle as well as the 12 onto the inside, battling Chris Hughes in the 7 car up on the outside line. And John Stanley, we saw how strong he was early in the run. Right now running in the 6th position. Let's see if he can capitalize on these restarts and get himself back up here to the front. Gordon Harder just ahead of him in P5 in the 56 car. The 24, Sean Jacobs, running in the 4th position. Dennis Schudich's gotten his car up front here in the 47. He's running in P3. So good run here for Dennis Schudich in that Toyota. But right now, the guy is that's in control is the 19 car. Don't forget, he's got Archer Vieta just behind him. And the 12 of John Stanley here now on the move, battling Gordon Carter. Gordon Carter way up the track there. Way up the track as Gordon Carter made contact, got into the marbles, and John Stanley gets around. So John Stanley now up to P5 as Gordon Carter falling back to P6. And Stanley now starting to work on the back of that Chevy as Sean Jacobs. Some more action here as we take a look at the 27, Preston Hassel, and the 7 of Chris Hughes. Preston Hassel was talking about some problems that he felt like, Jesus Iglesias went up the track there, one of our lap cars. Jesus letting Preston Hassel get by. Preston was talking about how much this car was not handling very well for him. And he might have had some little damage on that first run that he got repaired here under caution. So now back up, moving back up to the front. Not sure what happened here to the 8X car. He's come down and retired his machine, I believe. Stanislav Pavlov got hit there on that caution flag. He was involved in that caution there, not to his making, but Richter had gotten into the wall, and Stanislav Pavlov had nowhere to go. John Stanley now continuing to move forward here. He's battling Dennis Unichin, closing in on Unichin, and now John Stanley in the 12. Oh, he drifts up the track there a little bit. Unichin gives him some room. John Stanley picking up P3. And that's going to leave the door open behind him, I believe. Take a look there. That door opens up as Gordon Carter trying to slip through. But Dennis Unichin not ready to give that spot up. Go back and look at this battle here, the 56 and the 47. These guys getting after it right now, and Sean Jacobs going to get in this mix. Sean Jacobs says, hey, you guys go ahead and burn your stuff up. Oh, right there in contact between the 56 and the 24. And these guys punching each other in the mouth right now. Holy Toledo, did you see that? And Preston Hassel had a ringside seat. Take a look at Preston Hassel's view. Out of the front of his car. Sean Jacobs, Gordon Carter, Dennis Unichin, all racing their guts out right now. And there might have been some contact right there, a little contact there with the 24 and the 56, and I'm not sure it's over. You see right there as the 24 dives in, and there was contact. Look at that, boy. He was trying to hold on to that thing. Sean Jacobs. Oh, boy. That was interesting. Go on board here with Sean Jacobs. You see Gordon Carter to the inside of the 47 car. Sean Jacobs says, I can get through this as well, but no, not so fast. Oh, right there, a little contact. Maybe he didn't realize it was 3 wide. And then right here, watch this, working this wheel. Whoa, no, whoa. Sean Jacobs holding on to that thing. Great job there on all of those guys' part. And look at this. We got a battle for the lead, the 19 and the 4. Well, we've been watching that action. The battle for the lead raging here between the 19 and the 4. Bardelli Jr. not ready to give up the ghost here as the 4 car has to tuck back in. He had it for a moment, but Bardelli Jr. comes back and gets it. And this battle behind him is not over. 24 and the 56. Couple Camaros there dodging it out, baby. And Preston Hassel has a view of that as Gordon Carter still holding out on that outside line. Holy Toledo. Jesus Iglesias. One of those guys that go on by, and might have been a little contact there with he and a lap car. Jesus in his first race back out with us in a while, so we're good to see Jesus, and hopefully feeling better. Let's take a quick look at Chris Hughes here. Man, it's hard not to get dizzy on these cameras. as the 7 of Chris Hughes running in P8 right now. Good run for him. We haven't seen him in a bit. Good to see Chris Hughes out with us. He's out there by himself right now. 3.5 seconds behind the race leader. 8.5 seconds behind the race leader. Harvey Shepard in his first race out here on Friday night in the 9X car. Running in the 9th position. 16 seconds back. Well, Sean Jacobs has gotten around Gordon Carter and now sets his sights on the 47 car. Sean Jacobs with the AMD. Why do I keep saying AMD? The Vulcan sponsor machine. Cal U Vulcan sponsor machine. Dennis Huchin not ready to give that spot up, but he's going to have to as Sean Jacobs using a little muscle there to get by. A little bit earlier here, we take a look at the pass. Sean Jacobs down to the inside of the 56, picking up that position. Those guys had a pretty intense battle there about 10 laps ago. Well, the guy to hold on to, oh my God. The guy to hold on to right now is the 19. He's setting the pace, and the 4 car doing a pretty good job as they're starting to roll up on Dana Grover in the 89. He's running in the 10th position. And the last car on the lead lap. So a fair game to fight to hold on to that position. Grover is on this outside as the race leader is trying to get by, and he says, okay, boys, it's not that big a deal. I'll be in the lucky dog spot, assuming you don't lap anybody else. And he's way up the track there as the race leaders get by. That just shows you the savvy there, right? I mean, you got to say, hey, look, I'm going to fight you a little bit to stay on the lead lap, and I'm not going to overdrive the car. As we see Bardelli Jr. continuing to get up the track there, and he's going to leave the door open here, I think, for Vieira. Vieira to the inside of Bardelli Jr. And that's how I was saying is that Dana Grover clearly understands when these guys have rolled up onto the back of you, it's okay to try to stay on the lead lap there for a minute or so, but not to overdrive the thing and potentially cause a big crash here and impact the battle between the race leaders. And the 4 car now to the race lead. So Arthur Vieira here on lap 93. Our race leader. Bardelli Jr. second, Stanley third, Jacobs fourth, and Uterchin rounding out the top 5. Take a look at this. Preston Hassel and Gordon Carter battling. As Preston Hassel gets by the 56. AMD Rising sponsored Ford. Now in 6th, Gordon Carter is in the 7th position. Let's take a look at Gilmar Peixoto in the 71 car. He is running in the 15th position. He's 4 laps down, still plugging away. Maybe thinking about the point situation. It's early in the league. Or early in the series here, so every point matters. 89 trying to pick up a spot here as he gets by Harvey Shepard, who I think is on pit lane. Harvey Shepard, William Snowden, Julio Caligari, is on pit lane, but Harvey Shepard in the 9X car on pit lane. As we take a look at Arthur Vieira, our leader, as Harvey Shepard finishing up his pit stop, coming back out on track. He is now in the 13th position in that 9X car. Bardelli Jr. has come down pit lane. That's a big one. So Bardelli Jr. is on pit lane, taking some service here. I think he climbed up the wall, got into the wall, climbed up the track and got into the wall. So our pole setter is on pit lane. As you see Archie Vieta coming out, or getting around the 71. 71 giving him a lot of room there. As Bardelli Jr. finishing up his pit stop, coming back out on track. Now running in P9. Sean Jacobs on pit lane here in the 24 car coming down pit lane. So Sean Jacobs making a pit stop in the 24 car here on lap 101. Take a look at William Snowden in his first race out with us in the 7X car. Good top 10 run here for William Snowden. So the 7X having a good night here. Top 10 run. And, Snowden is coming down pit lane. So William Snowden making a pit stop here in the 7X car. Bardelli Jr. Now climbing back up to P4. As John Stanley's finished up his pit stop. He's back out on track, but little work to do for John Stanley right now. We'll take a look at him. He is battling Sean Jacobs. Jacobs in the 24. These guys have had a pretty intense battle. And that is P5, P6. Richter trying to recover here. He is 2 laps down from that earlier incident in the 65 car, but he is running in the 8th position. I mean, if you said you were 2 laps down running in P8, I'll take it, given the issues. Looking for a top 10 run. Gelson Neto, he's had a little bit of a tough night here. He's running in the 63 car, running in P11, 3 laps down. As we're looking at about 20 laps to go here tonight. And I'll tell you what, the guy to keep your eye on here is the 47, Dennis Udigen. Dennis Udigen in the 47, running in the 2nd position. Chris Hughes is in 3rd, quite a bit back, about 6 seconds back to him. But Dennis Udigen, although he is a little bit behind the 8 ball there, about 11.5 seconds back, he is in P2. This would be a huge finish for the 47 car. Giulio Caligari, haven't talked too much about him right now, battling Harvey Shepard for position. And Giulio to the outside, getting by the 9X, taking over P12. Harvey Shepard falling back to the 13th position. Those guys both behind P2, Dennis Udigen. And that battle's not over here. And Udigen, oh no, man, Shepard had to get out of the gas. Shepard had to get out of the gas to keep from getting into the back of the 47 car, and that gives Caligari the lead, or the room he needs to be able to get around. Wow. William Snowden going to pick up a spot there, as Harvey Shepard, I believe, is now on pit lane. So he tried to get that position, but decided to come down pit lane. So Shepard in the 9X car is on pit lane. Our race leader is Archer Vieta in the 4. As we see, Harvey Shepard might have done a drive-through here, so he was on pit lane. So it looks like he is now back out on the track, so he might have served a penalty and did a drive-through. Not getting any word from the admin on that one from race control. Wait a minute. I'm race control. Frankly, I don't know. I'll tell you what, Vietta's got a big lead here. I think he's going to be coming down pit lane here. It does look like Vietta is making a pit stop. So our race leader, Archer Vietta, stretching that out here. And you got to wonder about the race strategy. He's got a big lead, but he's going to end up giving up this lead, I think, to when he comes down pit lane. So the 4 car, Archer Vietta, is on pit lane, and that's our race leader. And Dennis Schuchen, who's running in P2, coming down pit lane. And I suspect that Chris Hughes is going to assume the race lead here. And I got to wonder about what's going to go on with these guys. As Chris Hughes is the leader. You see the 63 car getting by. But I do think that Vietta is come back off pit lane. So a little maybe gas and go for him, and he's back out in P3. I don't think that pit stop was very long, to be honest with you. So Chris Hughes in the 7 car is our leader. Bardelli Jr. shown in the 2nd position. Archer Vietta is in 3rd. Now, Vietta did not change tires. He just took some fuel, a little splash of fuel. So, Bardelli Jr. might be on a little bit better tires. You see Uderchin getting around the 7 car. Now, the 47 gets back on the lead lap. I think maybe the 7 might be thinking some fuel mileage strategy here. Does he have enough fuel to be able to make it? You know, we're looking at about 10 to go here. As the 9X slide through. That was Harvey Shepard there, 3 laps down. So Chris Hughes, I wonder if he has enough fuel to be able to make it. 10 laps to go. Look at this battle here. 10 laps to go with the 24 and the 12. And the 12 gets by the 24. So John Stanley and Tim Horton sponsor machine now back up to P4 as Sean Jacobs falls back to the 5th position. Dana Grover now back up to P9 as Dan Richter makes a pit stop.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Oh, we got a yellow flag here, and this is the reason right here. He gets into the back of the 51 car. Archer Vietta got into the back of the 51, and the yellow flag comes out. Oh, boy. Vietta looked like he rolled up onto the back of the 51 car. We'll take a look here. Rolled up onto the back of the 51 right here. Got into the 51 car, as the 51 might have been on older tires, and the 4 car makes contact with the inside wall. Oh boy. And that changes things, boys. You guys were really liking that. And right there, man, it just makes contact and then comes around and into the inside wall. And not what Vietta needed there, but just some lap traffic. That's all it was. As we go back to live, and I'll tell you what, Chris Hughes got to wonder what he's going to do now. This really kind of changes the game for him, I think. The guys behind him are going to have fresh tires. And that was just a weird situation right there. Steve Pierce He was trying to hold on, and he gets caught in the back end. Way out of the gas right there, and then I don't think Vieira had anticipated, and those guys just got together. Chris Hughes is coming down pit lane. And what a change there for Vieira. Little lap traffic, and you can't really blame him. To be honest with you can't really blame him. But man, you had some lap traffic in the way, and he got into the back of it. Now remember that Vieira did not change tires when he came down pit lane under green. So a little bit older tires too. And that definitely could make a difference. So Dennis Uderchin is our leader. Gelson Neto, Julio Caligari, I think maybe back on the lead lap here. That'll be good news for them. We got 5 laps to go. Uderchin is the leader. Bardelli Jr. second. Stanley third. Hughes fourth. Sean Jacobs in fifth. Don't forget the High Octane Racing League Tough Trucks will be in action on Tuesday, June the 18th, to be race number 8 of the season. New Hampshire Motor Speedway, also known as Loudon. 110-lap race, and that points championship is tight, man. Who's going to have luck at Loudon? We'll find out. That's coming up Tuesday, June the 18th at 9 p.m. It's the Tough Truck Series. Dan Richards retired his machine. What a tough break there with Dan. Had a tough night. Some guys are on pit lane here, it looks like. Have done their pit stops. Dana Grover back on the lead lap, I believe, which is good for him. He's in the 9th position. Gelson Neto is in the lucky dog position. I think we're going to go green this time by, and Uderchin has elected to take the inside line. And the pace car is going to come off this time by, I believe. At least the lights are out. Well, maybe it's not. Or maybe it is. So Uderchin and Bardelli Jr. for the win. What did I say about Bardelli Jr., man? He always seems to be in this in the hunt there, doesn't he? 12 and 7. They may be thinking, hey, these guys get into one another. We are the benefactors here. So the pace car is off this time.
Green flag, green flag.
And we're back to green. 3 laps to go. As Bardelli Jr. gets a good run there coming off the turn. Oh, we got a yellow flag. We got a yellow flag. It looked like maybe Gordon Carter might have come around. Gordon Carter's off the pace here, so something happened to him. And we're going to have a green-white checker, I believe. Let's take a look and see what happened here. Oh, it got 3 wide. The 9X and the 7X got together, and Gordon Carter hard into the wall. It looked like the 9X and the 7X got together here. Well, the 7X comes down across the front of the 9X. And so William Snowden comes across the front, and then he gets absolutely annihilated right there. Some other guys got caught up in that, but definitely certainly not what you want to see here toward the end of the race, but it looked like the 9X got taken out right there in that, and then those guys all get caught up. And those guys get through, luckily. We're not impacted by it. You take a look here. As you watch that 9X machine, it's Harvey Shepard in the 9X, and then the 7X comes right across the nose of the 9X car, and the 9X has no place to go, comes down into the 56, and then the 56 back up into the 7X, and that was hard contact. Well, I tell you, Uterchen's got another shot at this, but Bardelli Jr. does have fresher tires. And we're going to have a green-white checker here facing us. Our second one in a row. And I think that's just our third caution flag tonight. Now, if I were a betting man, I would bet that this thing is, well, it's going to end under green, but, I mean, they're going to race it out, but I think there'll be some crashes. Looks like we got 4 cars out of the race there. It looks like Richter, Pierce, Pavlov, and Spindola all out of the race here, out of the 19 drivers that are joining us here tonight. But what a good race it's been, really. We've seen some really good racing here, good clean racing, long green flag runs, green flag pit stops. You know, it's pretty much everything you'd want to see. Just that now we start bunching these guys back up, and you know, different tire strategies. Some guys, you know, a little bit of damage. Some guys staying out, that type of thing, and it does change things a little bit. Well, I believe we will be here doing a green or a green-white checker. Gordon Carter on pit lane here for a pretty extended amount of time. So this thing's pretty boogered up there as you see the 71. Gilmar Pachota coming back out on track. So a green-white checker here, and you got to wonder what Bardelli's going to do. Is he going to take the outside line? Is he going to take the inside line? What's the situation going to be like here for Bardelli Jr. as we're looking at, you know, extending some laps here? So Bardelli Jr. has answered that question. He's going down to the inside line. The 47, Dennis Uterchen up on the outside line. Chris Hughes and John Stanley going to be side by side here for this restart. They're in the second row. So the pace car is off on board here with Bardelli Jr. Don't spin your tires, baby. Get a good, clean start. And we were talking about earlier how he always seems to get that car in the hunt here for a race win.
Green flag, go, go, go.
All right, back to green. Uterchen gets a good jump on the outside. Good jump on the outside by Dennis Uterchen. Bardelli Jr. is showing some muscle there on the inside line. Clears the 47 car. Coming down the backstretch. Bardelli Jr. is the leader. Behind him, they are racing it out there. John Stanley and Dennis Unitchen getting after it. Unitchen off the track.
Yellow.
And there's contact there. And that's going to do it. So more contact there as now we got... And I think this is going to finish it right here as the 19 car. They called it a yellow flag, but this is going to do it, I believe. And Claudio Bardelli Jr. is going to win it here under caution. John Stanley finishes in second. Wow. I had a feeling. So Claudio Bardelli Jr. gets the win. And congratulations to the 19 on getting the race win here at Iowa. Like I said, he always seems to put his car in a position to be able to win. So congratulations to Bardelli Jr. And another win for the big dog. We'll take a look at the final results here as, man, that got crazy there, didn't it? Let's see if we can't take a look at what happened there. So, we can't. It won't let us go back there. It's all right. We'll take a look at the session results here tonight. Claudio Bardelli Jr. gets a B1. Another victory there for the 19. John Stanley, strong all night long, finishes in the second position. Sean Jacobs finishes third. Dana Grover finishes in P4. Archer Vieta finishes in the fifth position. Jelson Neto finishes in sixth. Chris Hughes finishes seventh in the 7 car. Dennis Unitchen ends up in the 8th position in the 47 car. Preston Hassel in the 27 finishes in 9th. Giulio Caligari in the 3X finishes in the 10th position. Finishing in 11th is Gordon Carter in the 56. Harvey Shepard and William Snowden, their first race is at 12th and 13th. 14th is actually Jomar Peixoto. Jesus Iglesias finishes in 15th. Dan Richter 16th. Steve Pierce finishes in the 17th position. Standing Slav Pavlov finishes 18th. 19th is Givaldo Spindola. I don't even think we got that right there. Looks like a little crazy to me. See if we can't... See, we can't fix that there. Nope, didn't want to fix it, does it? Maybe. You gotta love rFactor 2. Well, that's the final order there. You guys can figure it out and do some counting on that and figure out where that went wrong. Let's see if we can't get Claudio up here in the booth with us and have a little chat. All right, we're joined in the booth by Claudio Bardelli Jr. First of all, talk about that battle that you had pretty much all night long with Archer Vieta. I mean, that was a classic battle between the two of you. A little different strategies, but how were you feeling there with Archer tonight?
Hello, hi. I'm feeling a lucky guy. The yellow flag saved me, and the yellow flag calls for Arthur. I believe it to finish in second position. No to victory, but Arthur gave me a chance.
Could you have predicted going into tonight's race that you were going to have these really long green flag runs?
Yes, good race. The green flag, guys, is very be careful to turns 4, turn 3. It's difficult track. The tires is very difficult to maintain the temperature, and I try to give the undercutting in the guys, but if he only one guy calls yellow, I lost the race. But I didn't today.
Well, congratulations. Sometimes, being good is one thing, but also being lucky helps too. And I think you had a little bit of luck on your side here tonight with some of the timing of the caution flags. Congratulations, Claudio. Next week we have New Hampshire, which is, I'll be honest with you, is not one of my favorite tracks. How do you feel about New Hampshire Motor Speedway?
I like New Hampshire. In tracks, I like it. I don't know this car, but today I have here. Next week I don't know to talk to you. Today, yes.
Yeah. Well, hey, maybe we'll see you back in Victory Lane next week, and we'll get a chat. But congratulations to you, and we'll see you hopefully next week. Best of luck in the championship too.
Thank you, guy. Good night.
Claudio Bardelli Jr. joining us up here in the booth, and what a race there, man! I told you, I've been saying it all night long. This guy somehow seems to find a way to get the car up front when he needs to get the car up front. He overcomes adversity. He doesn't panic, and he has a little bit of luck on his side too. Let's be honest. Where we got to put that, some of that, credit is with being lucky as well, and capitalizing on the misfortune of other people. But he did a great job, and great run there for Bardelli Jr. John Stanley did a great job finishing in P2. Jacobs with the third place finish. Grover fourth. Vieira finishing in fifth as well. I mean, Vieira bounced it back there from a pretty hard lick there earlier. Before the end of the race. Really thought he might be out of the hunt. Well, don't forget, next week we will be at New Hampshire. 110 lap race there. That's going to be a challenge, man. Nashville will be our 5th race of the season. That puts us at halfway. So you got to keep your eye on New Hampshire. Saturday Night Thunder will be right here tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You do not want to miss it, man. Come on out and race with us. I get out of the broadcast booth, get in the driver's seat, and get beat up by the best. So that's coming up tomorrow night in our Cup Series. Don't forget, tonight's race has been brought to you by EliteHostingUSA.com. If you are interested in an rFactor 2 server, there are 3 self-managed server packages for you to choose from. Also, how about some WordPress hosting, online store hosting, DPS hosting, or shared web hosting? Those available through EliteHostingUSA.com. And don't forget to join us over at HighOctaneRacing.net. You'll get updates of schedules, of course, point standings, all that jazz. Quick link to our to the team or TurnLeftTV channel as well, and a quick link to our Discord server. That's where we do most of our business. That's HighOctaneRacing.net. Thank you so much for joining me here tonight. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and don't forget to smash the bell. You get updates of when races are going live. I appreciate each and every one of you that come out and watch these races, whether it's live or on replay. Share my videos with all your friends. Please click on those links down in the description of this race and help me out. If you'd like to make a donation to TurnLeftTV, you're more than welcome to do so as well. And then also my SimLab web link is there. I'm an affiliate through them. I have a SimLab race rig and love it, man. I do my broadcasting and my racing from my SimLab rig, and it is awesome. So don't forget to help me out by clicking on those links. That's going to do it for me tonight, folks. And I appreciate your patronage, and hopefully we'll see you next week. In the meantime, I am out of here.